We'll return soon. I leave Brodia Castle in the Royal Guard's capable hands.
Yes, Your Majesty.
You can count on us. Done a fine job protecting it all these years, haven't we? We won't start slacking off just 'cause you're not around.
Excellent. And when we return, you'll be treated to a victory feast.
Looking forward to it. See you soon, Your Majesty.
Strong of body.
Strong of heart.
All right, time to head out.
Here we go. They're wrapping up their goodbyes. Yes, onto the border.
What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Engaged. Last time, we helped stop the Elusian invasion against Brodia's castle. And this time, we have been told we're preparing for war, so I think we need to get a little bit stronger before actually going to war. So we are going to be doing the first of the Divine Paralogues today. But before we actually get into those, we need to do our Somnio trip for the day. And it's actually a twofold trip, or a twofold explanation, because I'm going to explain two things, and they go pretty hand in hand. But the first is the arena. Okay, so inside of the arena, you will see this training sigil. Apparently I can't say sigil. And it will allow you to do three things. The first is standard training, where you pick one of your characters and it'll allow them to level up a little bit, depending on how you train them. The next is Emblem, which you can go in, and I will just pick, sure, let's just go Diamant. Diamant has Roy equipped to him, but he's Bond 1. And I would really prefer him to be Bond 5 so that he can skill inherit. So if you hit the emblem you want to raise the level with, you can just pick whichever level you want them to go to and then skip to that level, basically. This will automatically do the Bond conversation, so I will take my model off so you can see the Bond conversation. But also, it's going to do something really funny. They have to
I am
fight to the death.
Prepare yourself.
In order for them to actually train. So you're just gonna watch them fight a little bit.
Well fought. I must train my skills.
And it looks like Diamant actually overpowers Roy in this circumstance.
Your ring was entrusted to my kingdom, Roy. So Brodia will be relying on your power.
I hoped this day would come. Leave it to me. Together we'll bring peace to your kingdom.
So, you still get the levels for the bonds, even if the unit loses against the emblem. It's just kind of funny that it goes... it shows the whole fight, and it shows, like, the big lose on the screen, like it did the victory for Diamant. But it still gives you the levels and the bond conversations no matter what, so it's kind of funny either way. But we get Strength 2, Advanced, Sword Power 1, which grants Attack 2 at the cost of Avoid 10 while using a sword, and Skill Inherit. So it just makes Diamant a little bit more powerful. And then, of course, you have Inherit skills, which we already went over in the Ring Chamber. This is just another place you can inherit skills, because you can level up the emblems bonds with the units right here anyway. So I like to inherit the skills right here instead of over in the Ring Chamber, because I'm more likely to be here when leveling up the bonds. But the last thing I want to go over in the Somnial, I actually need to pull up the inventory, and I believe it's Celine that's over level 12, or over level 10. So we're going to change class. And basically changing classes is kind of an involved thing, but what you need to know is when you're changing a class, you have to have all the prerequisites to be able to go to the class. So if I take my model off here, you will see that the required level is Noble 10, which Celine is a Noble level 12, so she meets that. She has to have proficiency in sword skills, tome skills, and staff skills, which she has all three thanks to her bond with Celica. And then you have to have a Master Seal in order to go to an advanced class. So with all three of those things, you're able to go to an advanced class. But something like Sword Master, she doesn't have Sword Fighter level 10, so she's not able to go to Sword Master, even though she's proficient in the sword skills. So we are just going to Vidam. I'm going to go with Vidam. I'm not exactly sure how to say that. But basically, you change your class, and it gives you a whole bunch of stats for going from a base to an advanced class. She literally got 1 in every single stat, as well as resetting her level to level 1. So, unfortunately, she's back to level 1 stats, which is not great, but it does allow her to continue leveling up, because all of these base and advanced classes could only go to level 20, and you stop getting stat points once you've finished leveling up. But I think that is the last thing I wanted to go over in the Somniel. So I am just going to meet you on the Divine Paralogues map so we can go over what we are actually doing today. So I will be right back. Alright, and this is obviously not the Divine Paralogues, but as is apparently tradition at this point, I have once again forgot the support conversations. And it looks like we got 2 of them, so we'll go through these 2 back to back, and then I will meet you at the Divine Paralogues.
Morning, Divine One.
Good morning, Alfred. That's quite the smile. Having a good day, are you?
You can say that again. I got up before sunrise and did tons of training. Even got an early run-in. And the cherry on top, I get to see your bright and shining face. What a day to be alive.
There's no need to tease me.
Who's teasing? Wouldn't you be just as happy to wake up to the sight of a friend?
Well, yes. I do feel happy when I see my friends.
See? Me too. But, look, isn't there anything I can do for you? You've been awake a while, but it must be hard. There's bound to be a lot you're still adjusting to. Tell your friend Alfred all about it.
Let me think. No, there's nothing bothering me at the moment.
Good. Great. But if there is something, well, I want to be the first to know. Before you left Lethos, you asked me as a friend to teach you things, to help you adjust. And knowing you wanted to be friends just tickled me.
Our friendship makes me happy too, Alfred. Impressive work out there today, Yunaka.
Whoa, what? I got praise from the Divine One? Zappy! I'm thrilled. Beyond thrilled.
I'm serious. Skills like yours are in high demand. You must have been a mercenary or something.
Right, mercenary, yeah. You could tell? I mean, obviously I've merked a time or 2, no big deal.
I thought so. With strength like yours, you must be pretty well known, too.
Sure, I mean, yep, people know me.
I'll bet some of our allies are well acquainted with your reputation already. I'll have to ask around. There must be stories.
No, I mean, could I ask you to maybe not do that?
What? Why?
Because I lied. Again. I've never been a mercenary. You said it and it sounded nice, so I went with it. I'm sorry.
I'm confused.
You asked me about my past. I panicked. And just like always, I hid behind a lie. I'm truly sorry, Divine One. I should not have deceived you. You were only trying to praise me, and I just had to go and ruin it. I'll take my leave.
Yunaka.
Alright, the Divine Paralogues. We are starting with Dragon Temple as the first one, because it's always the first one you have to do, and we can't choose otherwise, so we're just going to start with this one. And just to show it, I put the Ring of Genealogy or Emblem Leaf onto Vander. And of course, Roy is still on Diamant. And I also made sure to go through, and everyone has their bond level up to 5 now, with their emblems at least. Just so I could do a little bit of skill inheritance and everything to make them a little bit stronger. I also leveled up some of their equipment, like Yunaka now has a steel dagger rather than an iron one. John has rewarp, which allows him to teleport people up to 5 spaces, I believe, which can be very useful in these paralogs because these are long chapters. And some other stuff that I'll go over later. But with that being said, let's go ahead and begin the chapter.
Here we are, the island south of Firene. I definitely feel the presence of an emblem.
That looks like an altar over there.
With a bracelet resting on top of it. Must be the emblem inside I'm sensing. Yes, I feel it now.
What is it, Divine One?
I think an invocation just came to me. I'll try summoning the emblem now.
Dreamwell, Emblem of Dragons!
Marmar? No. Excuse me. But who are you?
I'm the Divine Dragon. We came here because I sensed your presence.
Divine Dragon? Why, that's what I am too. My name is Emblem Tiki. I must thank you for waking me. I feel I've been asleep for a very long time.
I can relate to that, Tiki. Do you happen to remember anything from before your sleep?
I know my bracelet friends and I were all somewhere, very far away. We fought in so many battles. I cannot recall how they ended. I do remember someone very gentle helping me to sleep. I wonder who it was.
Someone gentle.
I was kept asleep in my former world too. It was to protect me, but I was still quite frightened. But then Mama made it so that I didn't need to sleep anymore.
Do you mean Marth? Are you talking about events from the time of the Hero King?
You know him?
I do. Emblem Marth has been a guardian of Elios for a long time. If you'd be willing to join him in fighting to save this world, we'd be very grateful.
I would love to join your group. Traveling with so many new friends sounds like fun. But if I'm to join you, I'd like to see what drives you to fight. Will you show me your essence?
Of course. How do we do that?
Why, that's easy. You can battle against me. Then I'll know your true nature. And you don't need to hold back. I am really quite strong.
Alright, and as you can see, this is actually a pretty big level. Maybe you couldn't see behind my head, but it's a very large level. And I want to make sure I have the correct units equipped. I think I want to switch out Clan for Diamant, just so I have Roy as well. I like having as many emblem rings on my team as possible, just to make it so I have as many options as possible. Also, Yunaka is just fast, and I like having fast characters. So we're gonna go with that, and fight.
Now then, show me your strength. These doors are protected by a powerful force. These sigils are the only way to unseal the doors. Do your best to reach me.
Perhaps it would be wise to head for that sigil first.
Alright, and our victory is just to defeat Emblem Tiki, and she also only has one health bar, which makes her a lot easier to take on in this circumstance. But let's do my favorite move first, once again, and Warp Ragnarok. I am going to teleport, I guess right here would be fine, and take out this mage. It's not the most ideal move, but it is a decent move at the very least. And they're going to try to tell me about more mechanics, and that's actually something I should talk about. All of these Divine Paralogues actually have unique mechanics to them, making them actually pretty interesting to do all of them, because each of them being different makes them very... They're not stale, is what I'm trying to say. They all have at least one mechanic that is different from one another. Like this one has the sigils up here. This sigil, which will open this door over here, and then this sigil, which will let us into Tiki's room. But you have to basically learn a new mechanic every single time you take one of these on, which overall can be a lot, and is not,
whatever you need,
I would say is more cumbersome than anything, because there's a lot of mechanics in this game, and they don't do the best job in these paralogues to define what each mechanic is. Like, they say that the ice is slippery, but they don't actually tell you that if you're standing on the ice, you get a movement buff of 2, I think. Which is an incredible movement buff, to be sure. But it's just like, it would be very easy to say, oh, if we stand on the ice, we will move faster. But the main thing I want to talk about is, well, the first thing I want to talk about is my main strategy for this. And my main strategy for this is Saline, if that wasn't obvious. Let's put you... I don't want to put you there, because that's dangerous. I guess I'll leave you here. I do want to get John up to like here, so he can teleport inside and follow Saline in. But until then, I guess I'll just leave her there. But I'm going to have Saline and John, by proxy, head up to this sigil, because she is already here. And then I'll have my horsemen, my cavalry, head up and through the main corridor, and then head to the left, so they can get over here roughly about the same time that that Saline is able to get to the sigil, is what I'm trying to say. Wow, you do no damage? That's kind of insane. I guess you can take this one out. Usually she does a lot more than that. It looks like an equation on her damage. It said, what was it? 4 times 2 and then 4 plus 5? Doing math problems out here. Can we get the almost 50%? No, we cannot. I was hoping for the 50% crit chance, but apparently I don't get it. We will put you here to take that one out.
For Brodia.
I can't get the 46% crit chance, but the 9 I can. Of course. just what you would think, right? Ridiculous. But the other part of my strategy for this level is all the foot units, specifically Yunaka and Alcrest, being the 2 strongest, are going to go up and to the right to be ready to fight Tiki as soon as the door is open. And I should preface this now, these paralogues, these divine paralogues, I believe all of them are
Allow your soul the
like
rest it
ranked
deserves.
to be like 20 turns long, which one is insane. 20 turns for anything is like crazy. But also that was terrifying. Having only 11 life when 15 damage was coming at me. But we'll send John in. And
Don't fear for me.
you should... I mean, I'll let you do Seraphim. Because Seraphim should be able to knock this guy out in one hit. Yeah.
Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
And is that the only... No, there's one more dragon. I was like, is that the only dragon in this level? Or in the main corridor? Because that would have been very nice, but alas, cannot be. I'm debating if I should engage or not. I think I'm going to just hit him with my axe. I don't know why they put you to the left of the main entrance. In my opinion, these levels take so long anyway, they should just put you in the front. They literally should have you stand right here. And that should be the start of the level. But for some reason they're like, no, you have to work your way into the temple. You can't just be in there.
Nailed it.
Nice crit. You didn't need it. Ooh, and level 9. A little bit of extra build, even though you're a thief and carry literally one weapon. Sounds correct. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the dragon try to come towards me, and I will use I'll use either Outcrest or I'll use what's his name? Alfred and the Emblem 3 houses with Fail Not to take the dragon out. But now that we are actually getting into the level, I want to try to use these levels as sort of... I want to use it as sort of like... That was a bad move. I'm going to Time Crystal. Immediately after I made it, I'm like, that was dumb. Let's move you right here and we'll engage you so you can actually heal Celica. Or Saline. Given the extra 5 spaces.
Thank you.
And what do I want to do now? I think we are just going to continue moving upwards. Saline should be plenty fine moving up that way. But what I was saying before I was making dumb moves is that I want to use these Divine Paralogues to talk about the emblems that we were getting from them. And specifically talk about their history. And in Tiki's case, she's actually a very interesting character.
Yes.
Being from some of the earlier games, she is actually one of the original Divine Dragons, being the daughter of the Divine Dragon Naga in Shadow Dragon. Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon, I believe, was the name of the game. But she was actually so powerful as an infant that her mother and the Divine Dragon clan was actually afraid that she would go on a rampage and hurt the civilians around the Divine Dragon location, or the Divine Dragon's home, that they sealed Tiki away in a place called the Ice Dragon Temple, which of course is what this paralogue is taking place in, is the Ice Dragon Temple. But they forced her into a state of deep sleep and permanent sleep, basically, to make sure that her powers wouldn't go out of control. And the other thing the Divine Dragons did was that they put 3 caregivers with Tiki, just to make sure that if anything were to happen, that there was people there to watch over her. And there were 3 of them, but only one of them is super important to the story, and his name was Bantu. So, keeping in mind that Bantu was her, like, main caregiver is very important. And I think I'm gonna send this mend to the, convoy. But, getting back to Tiki's story, after, like, several years, I think it was, like, almost 500 or 1,000 years after she was put into a deep sleep, a thief by the name of Anra, actually broke into the Ice Dragon Temple and stole a shield called the Binding Shield that was suppressing Tiki's power while she was in a deep sleep, and stealing the shield and subsequently breaking the shield, because that's what happened, broke Tiki out of her sleep, and she was actually awoken by her caregiver, Bantu. And after that point, Bantu took Tiki, who was still at that point very childlike and infant-like because she was literally put to sleep while she was an infant, around to see the people that she was put into deep sleep to protect. So basically all of the like civilians and the tribe that live around the Ice Temple, Bantu took Tiki around to see and meet all of them, just to allow her basically the chance to see who she would be affecting if she were to lose control. I'm gonna leave you right here. But after a while of them going around and seeing all of the tribes around that she was basically protecting by being asleep, she was actually separated from Bantu. And once becoming separated, she was actually captured by a dark mage named Garnif, and forced into a brainwashed state where she was forced to fight against Marth, actually. Which is why in the
Look what you made
in
me
like
do.
the intro cutscene to this paralogue, she was calling Marth Marmar because she's very familiar with Marth. But after her fight with Marth, she broke out of the brainwashing by Bantu, actually. And she chose to fight with Marth, or to join Marth's fight, to go against the Dark Mage Garnef that had mind-controlled her, and to stop the Shadow Dragon,
We should use the other
Medesu.
sigil as well. More of the
I
floor
believe
has
his name is
turned to ice.
Medesu.
Tread carefully.
But once the war was actually over, and they had won, basically, the caregivers of Tiki, specifically Bantu, believed it would be best for Tiki to go back to the Ice Dragon Temple and be put back into a state of deep sleep to once again protect against all of the power that she had, and to make sure she wouldn't lose control and go on a rampage again like she did when she was mind controlled.
This time, victory was mine.
But she was once again broke out of the deep sleep once Marth was able to recreate the binding shield, which allowed Tiki to remain awake indefinitely, which is why she is able to be awake and is able to actually fight in later games. But I believe that's all I really want to say about Tiki specifically, because I don't really want to go too in depth on their story after I talk about how they relate to the location of their Divine Paralogue and everything, and basically her entire first story and first game she is in is all about her and this temple that we are currently fighting in. So I believe it was best to just talk about that temple, as this temple specifically. But with that being said, we're only about halfway done with this paralogue. These things do go on for a while, but I'm going to put you right here. And I'm actually going to start sending Taylene this direction, because having a mage in that direction will actually be beneficial. And the last one is Alcrest, which I will put right here. But right now, we literally are just splitting our forces basically in half, sending 4 one way and 4 the other way. And they're just in charge of hitting the sigil, and then the other side is in charge of making sure Tiki does not get to have a turn, because if Tiki gets to have a turn, we're all in trouble. Oh, nice crit. It's not going to be... Oh, it is enough. It was just enough.
I had to stop you.
I'm like, it's not going to be enough. I forgot it tripled the damage. Who do I want to go fight that dragon? It's a toss-up between... I think it's Yunaka. I think I'm having Yunaka fight the dragon. Yeah, she should be plenty fine.
Damn, you're dead.
Even with the 15 damage, I'm hoping she's not frozen, because that's a thing those Ice Breath does. I'll have Ram come over here and actually heal her, because that armored unit should come up and try to fight against Yunaka next. And then I will have... If I put you here, I think I'm going to put you there to shoot this.
I won't miss.
Okay, I'm just going to put this out there. Alcrest has hit 2 9% crits, and he's shot twice. 100% crit chance is what I'm reading it as. But let's go ahead and do this next. I want to engage, because I'm scared of the fabrications. I'm going to engage, and I'm going to combat art to use Falling Star and just take out the fabrication. That way I don't have to deal with the fabrication and I can just move on. And that's the fabrication done. I'm going to put you here, and actually she has Celica back up already, which is pretty great, actually. And actually, I think I'm going to engage.
Emblem, engage!
Because what I want to do is I want to engage, I want to warp Ragnarok once again, and I'm just going to sit right here and allow them to come to me. I'll take out one, and then the others will come towards me, and I'll just start taking them out one after the other. And getting the extra level is not terrible for our prospects of being able to take them out. If I do this, does that still take them out? Yes, it does. I gave John the shielding art because he's very much better as a unit that can take hits and heal rather than doing a lot of damage. So having the shielding art, which gives him a +5 to his defense, is just great. It basically doubles his defense and makes him much stronger. Also, the mage doing no damage and missing the 50-50 is just perfect.
Allow your soul the rest it deserves.
I'm thinking Taylene should probably be able to handle getting to this last sigil by herself, as long as she doesn't die here. I'm really hoping. Thank you. I was really afraid. But basically, I'm thinking... No, she has to...
My resolve
She has to
is
make this
unchanged.
one attack right here. We'll do wind, just because it's extra damage. And 100%. It takes that one out.
The rest it deserves.
And I'm actually going to send John back this direction so that he can heal those. Can heal the other units. And oh, Yunaka can move. That's surprising. I was almost certain she wouldn't be able to move.
Winning!
But we could do that. We could move you up to here so you're ready. And yeah, we're just... This should basically be one more turn and we should be done. Oh, you don't even need healed. I guess I'll just leave you there then. And I want to put Yunaka right here so that she can try to deal with this dragon before it becomes a problem. Because I think I need one more turn to get everything that I need to get on this side. And doing that will allow John to land here and get Great Sacrifice again. But will also allow me to get hit by this dragon and be able to do damage to it. Because it cannot kill me. The only thing I'm worried about is if it freezes me, which I think it does. Go ahead and put you there. We'll have you get this first chest. Not engage. We don't need you to engage. That would be a waste. And then Celine, go ahead and wait right here. It's time to fight a Tiki. And have more ice.
The other...
You are incredible. I will have to give this my all.
And unfortunately, Tiki is a divine dragon, meaning she can basically become a dragon.
Emblem?
As we saw from our mother in literally the first episode, actually. But hopefully, between the 3 characters that we have over there and this full healing, we should be able to take her out in one hit. That's actually almost 2 full levels for John, which is amazing. But let's go ahead and... here we go. Fight to the death. That's not a great start. What if I engage? Actually, can I engage and then Lodestar Rush and knock her down? Is that enough damage? It is. Time to hit her.
I was wondering, do you enjoy being a divine dragon?
I didn't always, but now, yes. I think I do. It taught me what I'm truly capable of.
I see. I'm very curious to learn all about you. Will you tell me more about yourself?
Of course. I will tell you all that I can.
Well, Tiki, it sure has been a while. I'm glad to see you. How have you been?
Mama! I'm so glad to see you. I've been doing so well.
If we win this battle, I hope we can fight side by side again. I'd feel better having you as my ally.
Of course. I would love to travel with you once more. And then we can chat forever and ever.
My prayers are with you.
Alright, if it wasn't obvious, I didn't know that was a conversation that was had in this Divine Paralogue. I know there's some in other Divine Paralogues, but this one specifically, I didn't know that there was a conversation between the 2 Divine Dragons and then Marth and Tiki. So, I guess I got lucky on this one, but with that, Marth's bond is up to level 9, and we get plus 20 to our Void, which is very helpful. And more importantly, 12 turns is a lot, but Celine and Celica are the MVPs because, of course, they are.
Wow, that was incredible. I tried my very best, but you still won. You showed me your true essence as well. Even in battle, you were warm and kind. I would be ever so glad to help you. I quite look forward to working together.
Thank you, Tiki. It's very reassuring to have you on our side.
I'm flattered to hear you say so. Oh, and it's not just me. My bracelet friends are here as well. I'm sure they would be happy to help.
You mean there are even more bracelet emblems here in Elios?
Yes, we just arrived recently. I'll tell you where they are, so you can go and meet them. I do believe they are all sleeping. I only hope they're having good dreams. I used to have terrible nightmares about turning into a beast and hurting people.
That must have been awful. I'm so sorry.
It was. But it's better now. I don't have those scary dreams anymore. And now that I'm with you, I think my dreams will only be happy ones. That's why I'm so grateful not to be alone. I want to become friends with all your friends.
That won't be a problem. You're bound to get along well with everyone.
I cannot wait to meet them. Let's be on our way. Mama, I'm so delighted to see you again.
It's a relief to see you as well. Now I can fulfill the promise I made to protect you.
I'm glad you remember. I never forgot. Now that we're reunited, I know I have nothing to fear. This will be so much fun.
With you by my side, Tiki, I'm sure I can take on any battle. Together, we will protect Elios.
I promise to give it my all. I can't wait to travel with you again. There is so much for us to talk about, and so many adventures to be had.
Indeed. We have a lot to catch up on, and just as much to look forward to.
Oh, Mama, I miss you so much.
Alright, and with that, we have now gained the help of Emblem Tiki. But we do need to still go over her. So, Emblem Tiki is a great all-around emblem, actually. You wouldn't think it, but being able to transform into a dragon is a great asset. And if it wasn't obvious, that was obviously sarcasm. But she has a couple of unique things. She actually grants several different attacks upon transforming into the dragon. She grants Eternal Claw, which is the move she was trying to use against us, but she never had the chance. Eternal Tail, which is our Tail Slam, I believe is what it's called, which she uses the dragon's tail to attack, and her Elemental Breath, which is actually interesting because each of her each unit that she's equipped to will determine what elemental breath she will have when she is engaged. There are 4 in total. She can have Fire Breath, Ice Breath, Flame Breath, or Dark Breath. And depending on who she's equipped to, determines what breath attack she has. But Tiki also grants 5 HP, 1 defense, and 2 luck, making her pretty good on tanks, allowing them to just take more hits and have more HP to take the hits. But I would mostly say that she's best on units with high mobility or high movement, which allows her to get into the front of the battlefield and then just transform into a dragon and kind of wreak havoc on everything. She also gets a skill that when the unit levels up, it grants them more stat points than they would get normally. So say a unit levels up and they would only get like, say 2 HP, 1 strength, and 1 magic, then maybe they would get 3 HP, 2 strength, 1 magic, and 1 resistance instead, which would be really nice and is actually super helpful. But I believe that's all I have to say about Emblem Tiki, and I think that's going to be the end of this episode. So, I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we go after a second Divine Paralogue, or a second Emblem bracelet that is over here in the Divine Paralogues. But until then, happy adventuring!